it's a soundbite. You're like, it's Chardonnay, bitch, and then
it's Pinot Grigio, Kevin.
Yeah, and then your loved ones go, she wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
She was cool. And
now
then,
she's drinking mouthwash.
Yeah, and then then as soon as you say mouthwash, then they go into like the whimsical music, and then it's a baby picture collage, and then it's you like swinging a softball bat. And then, like, you in high school with the boyfriend. And then, like, the next one is, like, when the drinking kicks in.
You see me with, like, a drink on the table.
Yeah, and they're like, and then she didn't get into law school. And then there's just, like, a spilled Budweiser. What up? And welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that is unimportant. What is important is that I am joined by my girl, Tori Shulman.
Hi.
We're over here talking about Intervention, the show.
Oh, I loved Intervention.
Yes.
I loved it so much.
Well,
this is how your disease has affected me.
In the following ways. Yes.
Totally.
I think what Intervention shows us is no matter how serious or unserious the topic matter is, people like beats to a show. Mm-hmm. Law and Order has beats. You open with a dead body.
The jogger finds the dead body.
Yes.
It's always the famous guy.
Yes.
It's the same show over and over.
And it's
over.
never the guy you think it is. And who is that over there? Who we think it is? It's Michael
Dean.
Oh, sorry. It literally has a beat. The bump bump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that's what you're talking about for a
always
second.
some jogger.
And then it's never the first guy you think it is.
Exactly.
No, you're right.
It's even the guy that, like, it's the janitor. He's been to jail 3 times. It's never him. It's always like, oh, it's the vice principal's hot assistant. At the end, she's like, yeah, I did it. I like.
And it's always like
kids.
Cardi B with a cameo.
Yeah.
Like, well, obviously it's Cardi B.
What's up, y'all? We are talking. First of all, Tori, we need to discuss the football game last night.
I'm so mad, you guys.
Look, we have a new segment called You Betcha.
You betcha.
And Tori has been on a tear. And you would have continued that tear.
I'm so mad. I was
100%.
100%.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, which you said you had a gut feeling would win, but you went with the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm so stupid. I knew the Jaguars would take it. The Jags always take it. I know their tight end is hurt, but the Chiefs are really stinking this year.
What's his last name?
His name is Bender.
Okay. It's not, but it's a weird thing because you kind of morbidly predicted that there would be an injury.
Yes, I did, and I'm sorry. Guys, also, I don't know anything about football.
Stop saying that. Yes, you do. You know why I wanted to do this segment?
Why?
Because, honestly, Tori, for all the experts that get paid millions to go on ESPN and look right in the camera and be like, hey, guys, the Bears are going to take it. They don't know.
They don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Tori predicted an upset that none of the experts, none of the guys that played the game, coached the game, Tori knew, even though she doesn't know one player on that field or one play.
What team is that?
Your first upset when you predicted Mac Jones, Scrappy Mac Jones.
That's right, Scrappy.
Of the 49ers was going to win the game.
That's right. The 49ers took it. That's right.
And you nailed it. So, Tori, really quickly.
Oh, boy.
Let's foreshadow here. We have a game Thursday.
Okay.
So, we do have the Philadelphia Eagles coming off of a loss to the Denver Broncos here.
Is this what they do?
Yes. And they're playing the New York Giants, who have their new quarterback, Jackson Dart.
What a name!
That's a Jackson with an X.
No.
Yes.
That's like a porn name.
Yeah.
It's a great porn name.
Yeah.
Hey, what is your name? Jackson Dart.
It really should be in Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got like swag. He scored his first touchdown and did like a dance that is very like germane to like the Louisiana Southern like hip hop booty bass scene. Not booty bass, that's more Miami, but just like he's with the people. He's young. Do you think he's going to take it, or do you think the Philadelphia Eagles, reigning world champs, are going to win?
The Eagles are on a tear. They are flying high. They're soaring.
They just lost last week. They lost yesterday. They lost within the last 24 hours. Are they still on a tear?
Yeah, and
Okay.
right now Jackson Dart is new. He's gonna get nervous, and I think the Eagles take it, and it's gonna be 31-17.
Okay, 31. Okay.
It's an odd number, I know.
Well, no, it's not. It's actually a good number for football. What do you think that the strengths of the Eagles are going into the game?
Definitely offense, and I think their speed is huge. Their conditioning has been much better.
Okay.
Or anything about
Okay. And the Giants, what weaknesses do you think they should try and avoid?
I think they're playing injured, Al. I think they're playing injured with their cornerbacks.
whenever she doesn't know, like, have a word that refers to the football, she just says cornerback.
And I don't know what that is. Is that defense? Is that offense? Are you in the corner?
Those are the guys. They're kind of like off to the side. Those are the guys that guard the wide receivers.
Okay, they guard them?
Right, yes. Like face guard them. Yeah. So
like stay away from them.
So the wide receiver isn't running wide open. They were
Okay.
like, let's put a guy over there.
Smart. Cornerback.
Yes,
Got it.
uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
And you can be small as a cornerback, am I right?
Yeah, as long as you're fast and shifty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
All
Sharp,
right.
Fast and shifty.
All right, Tori. Well, that was really briefly. Catch us up. What's going on with you?
Today I had on such a cool, I just want to say in Colorado and Company, I host from 10 to 11 every day on NBC in Colorado. And we had a new gym on called Spirit Club, which sounds a lot like that Spirit Halloween
Airlines?
store.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But it's not.
It's two different patterns of thought there. Michael Dean here at Spirit. He's like, airlines?
So what they
They're
do
both
is
kind of budget though.
Yes,
Yeah,
they are. Absolutely.
This club, it started in Maryland. Now it's franchised in Denver. And they have people in that have all kinds of mental or physical disabilities. And not only that, the trainers, some of them have mental and physical disabilities too.
Wow.
And it's so cool. And I highly suggest if you are in Denver and you know someone either in a wheelchair or in a walker or some kind of like neurodivergency, whatever it is, they take care of you. And it's a great place. So it's called
Spirit Club.
Spirit Club, and it's a great gym for people to join. So I was really happy to push that. And we also had farm to school table month. So we had some lunch ladies on showing us the agriculture that they're getting from Colorado farms and giving out to kids.
They're just giving it out?
Well, it's the lunch.
Do lunch ladies make the food or do they just scoop it?
She was making it. She made a burger from Colorado beef.
Kids are getting hand-patted burgers?
And even the grain bun was from a place.
Was the food in your high school good?
We didn't have a cafeteria.
You didn't have a
Wait,
cafeteria?
did you eat off campus?
We were open campus, so you could go wherever you wanted,
Wow.
whenever you wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean whenever you
open
want?
No
period.
sign in, no sign out. Just walk off.
So if Jerry shows up and he's like, "Hey, emergency at the house. Where's my daughter?" The school would just be like,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You just left, and it was before cell phones. We just walked out.
Do you
Got
think
a
that
burger.
there is something to the fact that not over policing kids allows them to kind of
Yeah. You had to, find your lunch, or bring it, but there was no.
You said find it like you have to fight for it in the prison yard.
It's in the hunting for it.
Get out there and find your lunch or perish. Okay.
Julia says her high school cafeteria sucked. Everything tasted like cardboard and metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was there was a big divergence in cafeterias. Mine was okay, but I remember on Fridays, I don't know what kind of deal they struck up with a local Pizza Hut, but Friday was regular pizza, and there was like a big deal. Everything
We did have Armand's pizza there every day, so you could get a slice for like $1.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's fair. But but that was it. So I never learned, like, when you were like, can you sit here? Can't sit here. Like, I never dealt with that. We just sat on the floor.
I think the cafeteria is your first introduction to hierarchy.
I agree, and I never had it.
Absolutely.
Free-range kids lunch hunt.
That's exactly what it is.
Way to go, Pretty Brown Mimi.
That
cute.
should have been the school name rather than the Grasshoppers. Just free range kids.
Yeah, we were the grasshoppers.
Yes.
It's true.
Which is, how did they not teach you a class on how to clean a bong?
Oh, they were it used to be a very druggy school in the 70s. We were the first integrated school in Washington, D.C.
Oh, really?
Yep, we're very progressive.
I love that.
We were very progressive. We had a class called Banned Books where we only read banned books.
I feel like you say that every time.
It's a really good class. I know. I agree with you.
There will be a lot more books in that class now. They're banning They banned everything.
Yep.
I didn't even realize that Harry Potter was like banned.
I think in Kentucky it's banned.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Well, all right. Well, let's not get into that yet. Michael Dean, we're about to get started with our first story. I'm thinking about jumping off with the conversion therapy.
Okay.
Do you want to do that one first?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Supreme Court.
Yes, the Supreme Court
SCOTUS
is poised to overturn Colorado's conversion therapy ban.
Not yet. We don't know yet, but it's
But
looking
that's
like
what it sounds like.
That's what it's. Anytime they say they're not sure, that means that they are sure. They're just going to wait to do it Friday at 5 p.m. That's when they do all their shady stuff.
Well,
news
that'll
cycle.
be next summer.
It will be next summer.
We'll hear.
Okay, so they're going to possibly sometime in the future overturn Colorado's conversion therapy ban let's see, on free speech arguments.
Yes.
So Tori, explain that because I don't know what I just read.
Okay. You did really well, though.
Thank you.
If you guys don't know, conversion therapy is when people try to talk therapy themselves to their patients out of being gay or changing your gender. And in 25 states, it has been banned. And this person in Denver wanted to talk about it and was worried about her license and what would that do. And so she hasn't been in trouble at all yet. It's been a non-enforced rule.
What do you mean she wanted to talk about it?
She wanted to have talk therapy with her clients about gender and sexual stuff for kids. And she felt like this law was banning her from speaking freely to her clients.
Okay.
And so she went, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court.
It literally says, so this woman is Kaylee Childs, and she's a Christian, and she wants to engage in talk therapy with minor clients who want to, quote, reduce or eliminated unwanted sexual attractions, change sexual behaviors, or grow in experience of harmony with their physical body. So it sounds like the patient has to want to not be gay or not be have these feelings that they are in the wrong body or the wrong gender, and then she can engage with them about that in talk therapy.
Now, she hasn't
the
been...
shame will take care of that. The shame will push them into thinking that they don't want to be gay.
Right.
So we've got
Well, that's probably why they're there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it went all the way to Supreme Court, and the Solicitor General is saying that this is a conduct issue, and that the defense, and they're saying it's a freedom of speech issue. And the justices are listening and they're questioning. And even Kagan sounds like, Elena Kagan sounds like she's leaning towards this is actually a freedom of speech issue.
But here's the thing.
I'm sorry?
From your therapist? Go ahead, Michael
Well,
Dean.
conversion therapy and those practices are linked to depression, PTSD, and suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
So, like, those are the outcomes for large numbers of patients. So, having therapy with a licensed practitioner who wants to engage in this type of therapy, why is that not regulated like a doctor who may think cholesterol is great for you and you should take cholesterol, even though the vast majority of, established science says that
will
is...
make sure those doctors are coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, is that not the same? Why is that not free speech for a doctor to say, go eat your dessert and have a piece of cake afterwards?
So in that, they had that in the questioning, and they basically said that is more of a licensing and a medical practice situation where you would cancel that person's medical license instead of a free speech. So why this is a free speech is because you're telling a therapist something that they can't say, which they haven't yet. So that's called something called prior restraint. And it's been brought up many times in the Supreme Court. And it's basically, you can't tell me before I've said something that is unable to say it. And so that's a perfect example. Again, I am a freedom of speech purist. So I don't like conversion ban therapy at all, conversion therapy. I think it's absolutely wrong. I think there's research to support that. And I agree with the 25 states that have banned it. However, there's an issue here that you're covering the mouth of therapists before they even say it, and the government's telling you can't do it.
But
that's an issue.
You need a license to be a therapist.
Right.
So why is that not the same licensing issue with a medical doctor?
I don't know what you mean.
Well,
in terms of like the doctor can't tell you go have a double cheeseburger every day
because
for
he
breakfast.
could lose his license.
But that's after he said it. That's like a bad idea, right? And they could deal with the conduct. They're separating those two by the word conduct and prior restraint. So unfortunately, this is a really hard one. I do think they'll overturn it. I think that they will find this unconstitutional because in practice, it's Colorado telling someone in a private practice that they have to regulate their speech when that isn't allowed.
But aren't therapists bound by some kind of ethics?
Yeah.
Right, not to do
So
harm?
can I start a session by saying, Michael Dean, you look smoking hot today? Can I start a session like that?
That's a licensing issue. That's a practical
So why is that
issue.
different for trying to change someone's sexuality?
Because if someone says that, then you respond. But this is telling someone they can't even begin to say that before they've said it. So your prior restraint is in an issue here. So
they have to say something that's like going to harm their patient before there's an issue?
Basically, yes. And in this case, it's seemingly kind of straightforward, and I don't like this, that the idea is that I can't tell a therapist before they suggest something that they can't say it. That is infringing on their right as a citizen to speak freely as a citizen, and that's the case here.
So if the law just says that if you do this, you're going to lose your license, how is that prior like restraint, right?
Right, exactly. Well, the law right now says you can't even talk about it. So canceling someone's right to freedom of speech in that way is unconstitutional. Now, I also think that this has something to do with, do they think therapy bans are harmful? And I think some of the justices probably don't. I do. I understand that. My doctor could not suggest me getting hysterectomy. He waited until I asked for one. So yeah, and there's conduct versus prior restraint. This is all kind of in the weeds.
Right. It does, because it seems like not you, but the law kind of muddies the relationship between you as a therapist and a practitioner and you as a citizen.
Right.
And so it's kind of like
but you can't prevent anyone from
this,
right.
But a therapist or, a doctor saying, you know what, chemo is overrated.
See, that's a conduct speech, a licensing issue, not a freedom of speech.
Can't that be my opinion? As a citizen?
But not in terms of the medical practice. There are licensing issues for that, right? Like that goes against medical research, and you can't.
Right, but so does this.
Right, I agree, but I agree. I totally agree. I don't like it. Right, I don't like it at all.
I know. I'm trying to clarify.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's like it's
some justices and especially the lawyer for Childs is saying that you can't prohibit someone from saying something before they've said it. And that's true. It's prior restraint has often been stood up in the Supreme Court. So I know it's kind of technical. And it's interesting. If you guys read the questions, they ask hypotheticals. Like, what if a doctor said this? What if my doctor said this? So I suggest you guys look at it and read it. But again, I'm against a therapy conversion. Of course I'm against it. But when you're a purist, you have to stand up for speech that you don't even like. You have to stand up for speech that you hate.
You're pro kids getting PTSD
no, I'm
and
anti
depression
prior
and,
restraint.
right.
Yeah, I'm anti prior restraint.
but if
look, if someone wants
why should
have a protest and speak against Jews,
what about if a therapist was like, I want you to go kill yourself?
Right,
that would be like in your best interest to go kill yourself.
Yeah, that's a license. That's a real issue.
So how is that different?
Because you're not stopping them from saying it beforehand. That's what the justices are saying. That this law has be implemented of saying you can't say this before they. So
if I pass a law saying a therapist couldn't say that you should go kill yourself and encourage suicide,
unalive yourself, so we don't get blocked.
Yeah,
on
thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So it's very confusing and it's kind of in between.
Put a pin in
that. So that's what this is.
Because we've got more horrible stuff to get to because Chicago's being invaded.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Woo!
thank you, Tori,
You're
for
very
explaining and very unpopular.
Yes, it is. But I have to protect
situation.
speech that I don't like. That's the whole point of freedom of speech.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. National Guard troops from Texas are going to Chicago.
Well, they're there. Well,
yes.
Assembled nearby.
Yes, assembled nearby. While Governor Pritzker is saying that our government is basically invading the city of Chicago, a military-style invasion. Kristi Noem released a video with a Black Hawk helicopter in Chicago. There's literally movies about war that have the word Black Hawk in them.
Black Hawk Down was so good.
Right. Well, yes. Well, it depends on where you were living at the time. Yes. If you listen to the podcast Blowback, it'll explain everything about this country and why I feel the way I do. And it'll explain like a lot of the when you go, why would they do that? You're like, oh, okay. All right. Lots of strange regime changes. I will say this though, Tori, we are living in a time where, and I said this last night on stage. I did a show at Comedy Works last night.
Did you?
Yes, and I was like, it's so weird. We're in here doing a show, and there are active military troops on the ground in major cities. It's like the dumbest guy in the world is playing Risk.
Well,
it's just like he's just.
There's Black Hawk helicopters with men rappelling off the top, going into an apartment block, looking for people who are brown.
Right, absolutely. Well,
which the Supreme Court says you can do.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
well,
they can profile.
Did you see earlier this week when they invaded that apartment complex? It's so interesting because it connects directly with what happened here in Aurora with the Venezuelan gangs. Do you remember that? long story short, an apartment complex that was in disrepair. Its landlord, who didn't want to do the repairs, had low-income people living there, called ICE. So in the middle of the night, ICE comes in. They break windows. They kick doors down. They pull people out of that apartment complex naked. They pulled kids out, zip-tied. And the damage they did to the building is now coming out that they're like, oh, well, the building is not fixable and we're going to sell it. And so it's a way, because remember, the landlord with the Venezuelan gangs in Aurora had issues with not meeting regulations and standards and not wanting poor people in there. So what you do is you call ICE and they remove those people. And they said none of those residents are expected to come back. So it's a weird confluence of capitalism meeting brutality to get, to just basically, you think about having a building in Chicago, getting those folks out, sprucing it up, and then selling it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're just talking about business and gentrification at that point. It's interesting that the two have melded. Tori, do you think that we are already numb to the fact that they're just troops on the ground?
I mean, that's what they're trying to do. I don't think so. I think.
Were they on the ground when you went to D.C.?
Yes.
They were?
Yeah.
Where were they?
At all the memorials. They're outside the Lincoln. They're outside. By the way, you can just go up to the Lincoln and walk in. There's no tickets. It's free. So when I was a kid, we'd all go at night. We'd go to the Korean Memorial. We'd go to the Washington Monument. We'd hang out. And now there's armed troops there. So
how many were there? I'm curious.
There was a bunch at each memorial.
When you say a bunch, a dozen or 50?
It was a dozen when I drove. I have to drive past all the monuments to get to my house. And so there was 15 troops with guns outside of each memorial.
Just standing there?
Yeah. There's nothing to do. There's no riots. There's no protests. At this point in D.C., they're actually mulching and picking up trash because there's not that much to do. But, yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom said this is it. We're in martial law at this point. And when you start invading American cities, that is it's just the most unfoundational part of being American. I mean, so this is, I do think what you said once was that he's trying to start a war so that elections can be, he thinks can be put on hold, which is interesting.
Well, he's threatening to use the Insurrection Act if the courts don't side with him.
Right.
And governors don't side with him.
Which is a very old law. I mean, it's from 18 something. I mean, it's very old.
But the insurrection doesn't have to be an insurrection inciting event.
Yes.
Well,
which can be manufactured.
Well, the thing is, if you look at some of these videos that they're doing with, the National Guard firing tear gas and rubber bullets and all these things, it looks like there's some sort of war event going on. Right. But, it's confined to a 2-block area of a city. And then using that as pretext for, insurrection seems like that's the game plan here.
Now they're allowing police to protect the agents.
ICE agents.
ICE agents. So the troops came in for problems, but now there's problems because there's troops. So now they have to bring more people in to protect the troops, the agents. It's insane. It's a bad timeline. We're only 3 months in, or I'm sorry, 7 months. We have 3 years and 7 months left. That's what
I don't think we'll make that. I don't think we'll make that. And I see Gabriel talking about Portland. What the governor there said was Portland, I forgot how many square miles it is, but they were like, the media is just showing one block over and over again from different years. And I remember when we were on DBL, some country singer released a song called Not in My Town or whatever that was called, Round Here or something, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm, a weirdo. And I make my own videos and I cut a lot of B-roll. And I was watching that video and I was like, there was a video that they were trying to go after the George Floyd thing. And there was some young woman screaming in a masked cop's face. And I was like, that's B-roll that I've cut before.
For sure.
I was like, I also saw one in a Super Bowl commercial too. But I'm like, I've looked at these videos. I was like, and then it came out 2 days later that they're just using B-roll from the same sites that I make my music videos from.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. There's no impetus or any governing body to show that these are from this year.
Right.
This happened last night.
Right.
I'm just waiting to see the scene from the first Terminator. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm sure a bunch of Trump voters would be like, well, there's robots.
I wondered if they would show
downtown.
movies. Yeah.
Yes.
movie
So,
clips.
all right, Tori, let's keep it moving. Or should I say, let's not keep it moving like the flights leaving.
Oh my gosh, you guys! In Burbank today, if anyone's from California, write in. But Burbank had no air traffic controllers
Yesterday.
Yesterday, and Denver had to ground some flights today because of the lack of staff. This is all due to the government shutdown.
Yeah, the air traffic controllers. There's already a shortage, but now apparently there's a slight uptick in people who are calling out sick.
Because they're not getting paid.
Yeah, none of them are getting paid. And now the other thing that the president said today was that he's considering not giving them the back pay. Not just the air traffic controllers, but all of the government workers who are furloughed. There's a law that says they have to get back pay for while they were furloughed. And now he's saying that he could deny some of them that pay.
So it's nothing short of what Tony Soprano would do.
It's a mafioso.
It's, what's interesting about this and we'll get to the Pam Bondi story shortly, but I was listening to that, before I walked out the door to come here. And
by the way, she was wearing the same dress as me.
Was she really?
No, not Pam Bondi. That was, sorry.
Caroline
Levitt, yeah.
But I was just thinking, I'm 48 and I've lived my whole life, as I'm sure most of us have, thinking that there was like some kind of law. And when I drove over here, I was like, oh, this is a totally lawless country. There's no blowback. We have Tom Homan recorded by the FBI taking $50,000 in cash. And we'll get to it, but Pam Bondi was like, no, he didn't. And just sits there. It's almost like they're gaslighting the country. So, Tori, I don't know, do you think the airline, what we're seeing with the air traffic controllers is like, how could that be upheld? Like in terms of, does the president have that kind of say to say you have to come to work and you're not going to get paid?
Yeah, kind of. And the Supreme Court also took up a case, Al, that's going to be testing president's power, the amount of power that he has. So we'll find out more about that. But yeah, basically, there's no, as I keep saying, there's no enforcement here. There's no checks and balances anymore.
I was about to say, what's up with the check?
There's none. Because
that was like the one question I knew I was going to get right on in social studies is like, what are the three branches of government? I'll see you guys later on this one. Excuse me.
Yeah, and so, they're blaming a lot of Democrats, and unfortunately, who's running the government? The Republicans are in control of the Congress, they're in control of the executive branch, they're in control of the legislation branch and the judicial branch. So if you're going to blame the people who aren't in power, it's a little awkward. So I don't want to go deeply into it, but yeah, this is all a mess. It's a mess. It's a huge waste of money. Enormous. $400 million a day, you said. $400 million a day. And Just Me says getting back pay is mandated. By who?
It's a law. It's
right. It's a law.
law.
But
everything's
this
a law till it's
administration,
not.
exactly. This administration pushes the line until there's anybody kind of blowback, and there isn't.
Well, it seems like they like to just do what they want, whether or not it's legal or not.
Right.
And
then
ask
it
seems
forgiveness.
like all the courts, especially the Supreme Court, is like, well, yeah, we're not going to get in your way, but we'll decide the legality of that in maybe a year.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, like, effectively, it just means he gets to do whatever he wants.
Right. It's
whether
called
or not
no enforcement. No enforcement. That's exactly right.
Well, then what's the point of having
having the law to begin with?
Not even a law, Michael Dean, but just having two different, opposing parties. If the Democrats get in and they're like, we want to do Build Back Better, by the time that gets sliced and diced and pushed back and held, it's a fraction of what it was. You could make the argument that every 4 years, the president comes down to about 2-3% of the population swinging one way or the other. But yet it just seems like there is an outweighed, credence given to whatever the Republican Party wants. And then we at least know that there's 47% of the population that's not digging this. It's not 90-10.
Exactly.
But like when Democrats are like, we'd like to get health care for everybody. Shut up. No. All right. We'd like to give kids free lunch at school. Shut up. No. But then the Republicans are like, you know what? There's no more books in 5th grade. We're just going to take those away. And then there's crickets. It just seems very, it's like the thumb is always on the scale.
Right.
But the population doesn't equal
I
that,
agree with you. Republicans often ask for forgiveness after, and Democrats often ask for permission before. And it's highly efficient. It's inefficient, unfortunately.
Well, it's efficient for the Republicans. Tori, let me ask you this. Trump says that Diddy as we'll move on. Asked for a pardon. Are you surprised by that? I think you called that. Did you not?
For sure. I knew he would. For sure. And I was surprised they let it out. But yeah,
He said it.
Yeah, he definitely did. Because he didn't know about Ghislaine Maxwell getting turned down for the Supreme Court, but he was like, he called him Puffy. What did he call him? Puff Daddy.
I call him Puff Daddy.
Yeah. He said he asked for a pardon. And he's like, there's a lot of people that are asking, and I'll take a look into it. So it's not a no about Ghislaine Maxwell and a pardon, y'all.
I thought that was totally just there was no way that would happen because she is such a toxic. She's really the only living lightning rod for that story. Everybody else is kind of dead or like hiding.
But you know what? It could have been like, it could be like this, last final thing type day, that goes on where the lame duck president just starts pardoning people at the very end of his term because he's not going to, serve again.
That's interesting.
So like you can wait and just offer her a pardon, but it's just going to have to be in 4 years or 3 years and 10
but wouldn't
months.
that
He can't, by the way, Lucy, no, he can't do it behind the scenes. They have to be, we have to know about them, but he can't. Many presidents have done last minute pardons, very many. It's a known strategy.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest. It wouldn't be a pardon just based on like I like your music. It would be a pardon and like my checking account ends in 443. So we do know that would be going on, and I think it's so interesting that there's like no pushback in the room. That there's open quid pro quo with so many things that are going on here. Speaking of Trump, he blasts the NFL's choice to use Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. Tori, I think you should go to the Super Bowl. I think you'd love it.
I can't afford to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, you can go and just hang out.
Isn't
That's
it
what I
like
did for one of them.
$10,000 a ticket? I'm just kidding.
I think it depends on what kind of ticket you want.
but it's very expensive to go.
Yeah, I think for anybody. I mean, I got a hookup to go, but like I couldn't imagine like any one of those. It's almost like going to a destination wedding. Like it's that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
The hotels, the Uber, everything is going to be so expensive that it's really just for fans. Would you go if T Swift was performing?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear her explanation for why she's not performing this year, Tori?
Yes, I did.
What did you think? Well, first of all, explain what she said.
So they asked Taylor Swift on Jimmy Fallon, if you guys didn't know she was on, and she was like, when I'm watching my man, we are locked in on each other, and I'm watching my man on that field, and he is a gladiator. That show is violent. That sport is violent chess.
Is that what she called it?
And she's like, he's doing the most dangerous things. First of all, you're running around with a ball, like hitting other men. And she's like, so I can't imagine. Though. Yeah, but it's not like you're going to war. She made it out like, oh my God. But she said, I can't do it if he's performing. I can't be like, what are my choreos for this song and this song? Like, I am locked in. And I'm like, Taylor, that makes zero sense. That makes no sense.
I mean, but that's her explanation. I can't focus on practicing with my mans in the Super Bowl.
But wasn't she touring all last season?
Yeah.
NFL season? So wasn't she worried about her choreo while he was playing last year?
Not at the same stadium.
Oh.
So
but think about like what a swaggy video you could show your kids. Here's your dad playing in the Super Bowl, and here's your mom performing at halftime.
Dude, that'd be
your kids would just think that's normal.
Yeah,
like,
that's
your
amazing.
parents didn't.
No, I'm excited for Bad Bunny. I think he's causing. I think it's definitely a Jay-Z decision, and I think it's a really smart one for the NFL. And I think it's, they, Mike Johnson was asked in the hallway of the Capitol what he thinks. He goes, I don't really know about him, but I think he's a really bad choice. And the reporter goes, oh, really? Why? And he goes, young people are watching.
What?
It was so bad.
They're so he just was like, do not say the first three
Totally.
things that came to your
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, do not say that he's brown. Do not say that. Do not say. I was thinking that. And you see him being like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
I think it's funny that Taylor thinks the Chiefs will even be in it this year. That's true.
It's also very strange that, again, there's always this duality of thought that a lot of people that lean right, they don't want Bad Bunny because he's Puerto Rican. He's going to be.
By the way, that's part of
Spanish.
America.
We don't have time to discuss that.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not like they can say, I don't like some of his tracks. They're not even going there. They're just like, they're being pretty open about it, which I do respect in a weird way. It's interesting that they will then watch the first game of the season that was in Brazil and say, good for the NFL. Look how many people are there.
Totally.
Look at how many international fans we have. it's so interesting that they don't understand that the NFL is playing games in Brazil because they probably want to expand and get to that fan base. That fan base probably is also a fan of Bad Bunny, as a lot of people on the planet are. He's got 2 and 3 billion views on all his videos. The idea that they love capitalism, but when these companies that they love, the NFL, try and expand and be capitalist, the capitalists they claim to love, they're like, you can be a capitalist, but not with those people.
It's interesting. Tish, if you guys can go back on the chat a little bit, Tish says she's Hispanic and she still thinks it's a bad idea. I'm a Hispanic woman and I didn't agree with the decision. It's not inclusive. And then go down a little bit. Just Me says, I disagree about Bad Bunny. The Super Bowl artist should be more mainstream. Appeal to middle America.
But here's the thing. Bad Bunny is hugely popular in America. Like insanely popular in America. It's just not necessarily the mainstream that a lot of us are tuned into.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that
myself.
a ton of Americans, like millions and millions of Americans, aren't fans of his. So, like, I kind of worry about, like...
Marcy says she won't watch it.
Which mainstream are we talking about here?
And for Marcy, I understand you not watching it. I think that we have to, when we think about the
I want to
word...
include all those in, the opposite.
Right, yeah. It's like, when The Who performed at the Super Bowl, I'm sure the people that like Bad Bunny didn't feel included. They were like, who are these older...
The Who is this?
The who and the who is this? And now... I knew Jay-Z when he performed. I knew the Prince when he performed. Beyonce. I don't know Bad Bunny. I am now kind of not included. But that's okay because they already got me. I'm going to watch Super Bowl every year, and so will most of the people in the chat. So will all of Middle America. What they want to do is say, we got y'all. Well, we got y'all. We want the people that don't watch our product to watch this and maybe become fans.
Well, real quick. Latinos are the fastest growing fan base in the NFL.
Right, they're right on the money. Pretty Brown says, "Is Middle America code for a country singer?"
That would be kind of a cool name for middle. I'm just Middle America. Is there a band called Flyover Country?
That's a good band.
That'd
name.
be a cool name.
You know what? We have one on the show coming up called "Fight Like a Buffalo." No, it's not. It's something like that.
Sound like a big fan.
Float Like a Buffalo. I don't get it either. I thought it was cool. I'm excited.
What?
Yeah, float like a buffalo.
But what does that mean?
I don't really know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we've talked about Taylor. We've talked about everybody except for, yes, Michael Dean, you were inhaling.
Well, I just wanted to mention Dolly Parton's health is trending right now.
I was hoping we wouldn't, not that we wouldn't get to the story today, Night Owls, but just when I saw that she had stopped preparing for a series of performances a couple weeks ago. I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Tori.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
I believe somebody.
Yeah, her
here
sister.
So her sister said she was up all night praying for her. It's not this. This is getting to be something I'm really worried about. If you're up praying and you're a family member, not great. Now she said I'm going to be taking care of it, but I just have to stay home. But this is a national treasure, y'all. This is a Betty White situation. This is a 911 for all of Americans. Dolly is the best. So
and she basically is asking all of the world to pray for Dolly.
Yeah,
y'all get your hands up.
I don't like the way that sounds.
No.
I will.
No. And she lost her husband, I think this year or last year, and there's a correlation there.
I was going to ask you about that.
You know, when my mom passed, they asked my dad a set series of questions because when you lose a spouse, like when Carrie Fisher died and her mom Debbie Reynolds died the next day, there is a spike in strokes for people who lose a loved one.
Almost like a real life broken heart situation.
100%. Yeah. So,
and
well, but I'm curious, do you think that it might be different for someone like Dolly? Because, yeah, she lost her husband, but she still has just millions and millions and millions of adoring fans. Like, she still has very good reason to be here.
I think it's person to person. I think that there are some couples that they're never not in the same room together. And when one goes, whether they admit it or not, the other one doesn't want to be here anymore. I think that is a thing. But I also think there's couples that are very much in love, but when they do lose their partner, they say, well, I still play bridge on Thursdays and I go walking with my girlfriend, Tori, and they have a life and something. You know, my grandmother, I think, lived for 11 more years after my grandfather passed. So I think, and I don't think that's an indictment on their love.
Yeah.
I just think that some people are on a journey, and some people are like, I want my journey to end when this person's
Yeah.
does.
And by the way, did y'all know she wrote Jolene and I Will Always Love You on the same afternoon?
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
God.
Wow.
She was like, and she wrote I Will Always Love You because they always told her, you can't write a love song. You can't write a love song. She's like, I'm going to write the most boring. And it's just, she goes, it's the lyrics are stupid. It's just, I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always love you.
Well, I saw a woman that had a T-shirt, and I forgot where me and Sarah were, but it said the world needs more Dollies and less Jolenes. And I was like, that is an awesome shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Yes.
And yeah, and there was a real Jolene in her life with the auburn hair.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a simmering tension. There is something very instinctive when women are just like, I don't like this woman around my man.
Jolene.
What's up with that?
Jolene.
What up with that?
What
All
up
right,
with
so
that?
we are wishing Dolly well. What we do need to talk about Pam Bondi, a much less fun blonde. The anti-Dolly. God, how could two people be so similar and so different? Tori, she had a Senate
Oversight
hearing, and she sat up there, and I don't know if you could say that she lied. I would say that she was dismissive of the questions, which I thought the Senate Oversight Committee hearings were serious.
So they are serious, but you're not under oath. You're not in a trial. She can block or not say whatever she wants. This has happened over and over in every administration, and she just talked back to the senators. But again, this is just a ask, question, and answer, and you want to hear good answers. But so many people who have been under oversight, and it is about the Comey investigation. They just totally dismiss it. I can't recall, or they move on, or they are on the offense. So this happens a lot in DC, a lot.
To this extent?
Yes. Now,
even when they said, well, what about
The Epstein files?
yeah, she has no reason to speak out. She's not, again, compelled at all. This is just a question
so
and
then
answer.
what's the point of having them?
So it's out in the public in America. Now, sometimes you're going to get a good response. Like RFK spoke openly about what he felt about vaccines. The country got to see what he felt. Pam Bondi was a closed door. She was just going to throw darts and that's it. And many people have done that. Again, you're not under oath. It's not a trial.
But I thought RFK said when he was confronted with whether he's an anti-vaxxer, he said he was not.
At one point he did. And then he went into the committee and then, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, it's just she was on attack the entire time.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's her time to be on camera. She is the microphone. She interrupted everybody. So that's what they do. That's why it's kind of a waste of time with certain people, unfortunately.
Well, does that circle back to what I said at the beginning of the show, y'all, that like we don't have laws? If
There's no enforcement.
So then what's the point? Of any of this?
You're supposed to talk clearly to the American people about it. That's why it's televised. But again, you're not compelled.
Do you think her audience wasn't America? That instead it was maybe Trump?
Absolutely.
I think it was MAGA. I don't think it was just Trump.
I think it's an audience of one. I don't think that they think that MAGA is watching the Senate Oversight Committee.
Oh, they're watching clips, baby. And they like it when she punches back, baby.
Well,
sorry, I keep saying that.
I don't know what
so sorry.
happened to you. I don't know. I don't think that she's really ever going to get their true admiration until she has some kind of breakthrough with the Epstein files. That's always going to hang over her head. But this is a good look. It seems like Republicans want fighters. And
Trump fired people for not, remember Sean Spicer? He just didn't have it in him, and he was like, no, I need someone else. Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Now she can fight back. And that's what happened.
Well, what happened to her?
She's running for governor.
Is she governor of Arkansas? Or she ran for it?
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, as I was listening to her answers.
Yeah, she is the governor of Arkansas.
Yes. As she was so.
From her father.
She was Mike Huckabee, right? Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, I saw a very random clip of Mike Pence. Have you ever seen that clip of him on that John Deere tractor?
Mm-mm.
Well, I went down a rabbit hole of possibly closeted Republican leaders. I'll just tell you this, Night Owls. Google Google John Deere, Mike Pence, and tell me what you think. He gets on this. It's like some kind of John Deere event, and there's like a kind of like country, good-looking, strapping guy, and I guess you could get on the thing and take a picture with him. Mike Pence gets on this John Deere with this guy and grabs the gear shift, and he goes, You want me to show you how to handle this?
Oh boy.
It was so. Did you see it, Michael?
Yeah, I definitely saw it. I think a while ago.
Yeah.
It is terribly awkward and wonderful and juicy
It is
and weird.
so weird. I don't know what
super
made me
weird.
think about that, but it was the weirdest thing.
He also, was
Okay.
eyeing the guy the entire time.
It was, yeah. And he said, "Do you want me to take you for a ride?" And Mike Pence goes, "I prefer driving." And I was like, it reminded me of that sign, that scene in Boys in the Hood when Cooper Gooding Jr. No one here is going to get this reference. Maybe Nick. When Cooper Gooding Jr. is in the car with that woman, and he goes, "Can you drive stick?" And she goes, "I can learn." And I was like, that's the flyover country version of Boys in the Hood scene. Nice. It was so weird. All right, speaking of nice, Tori, Jonah Hill.
Y'all, he lost so much weight.
Tori, Jonah Hill has lost some weight. I know we're not talking about people's bodies in a positive or negative. We're talking about in a tangible.
He just looks so different.
I have never seen. We are how many years into? I'm putting everything under the Ozempic blanket. About 3 years into Ozempic, 3 or 4. So there's not, when you go, oh, so-and-so, they took some Ozempic, you're like, good for them. I hope they're healthy. So we're not shocked as much as I think we used to be. It is, Jonah Hill is striking.
He's not up.
Yeah, he's not up there yet.
Well, he's up on the YouTube feed. You can see the picture.
Brandon goes, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's the proper response. Do you think that, well, let me ask you this. What do you think about just the ethical nature, nothing illegal. Do you think it's ethical for celebrities to be pushing weight loss drugs like Ozempic when it's been shown that the people that get on them but can't afford to stay on them will gain the weight back quicker and it affects their mental?
Yes, I think they can promote anything they want.
Do you think it's ethical? I'm not saying.
Yeah, I do. I think a lot of people have found. There he is, guys. Wow, skinny mini. I really shouldn't be commenting like that because he went on Jimmy Kimmel, right? And Kimmel goes, "You smell good. You don't look like the kind of person who smells good." And he was like genuinely, sincerely hurt. And he goes, "Why would you say that about me? Like, why?" And he thought he was kidding Kimmel. And he was like, "No, I'm really serious. Like, why would you say that to me?" And so I watched him and his therapist in that movie. What was it called? Staunch, or his therapist's name? Anyway, he's very sensitive about it, and he's very hurt by all that. And he's like, "I'll always be the fat kid," or he talks about it. So, I wouldn't speak about a woman in that way. So I really shouldn't speak about a man.
I
think he has dramatically lost weight. We can all say that. Amy Schumer has dramatically lost a lot of weight recently. But I just feel like in the past I would have been like, yo, does this make him not funny? Like, did he lose his? Then that's not, it's sort of inappropriate. You know what I mean?
I can definitely see that, like, you are attributing somebody's size to
people say that a lot.
Their ability to be funny.
Yeah.
But I will say that just looking and saying that is a person that if you gave me 100 tries for $1 million, I would have not have guessed that was him.
Yeah.
That is when we're talking about that level of weight loss, I think you're allowed to be like, holy shit, to quote Brandon.
Yeah.
Michael Dean, what were you going to say?
Well, I'm just curious, like a lot of his humor and, I think derived from, the way he looked and his size and whatever. Do you think he's going to be able to be just as funny?
See, I think that's a bad question.
I mean, is
I
it? I mean, like,
I don't think
I
that's
was
an
wondering,
appropriate
I was
question.
wondering,
I think it is an appropriate question.
I don't think it is.
I don't think that it was inappropriate in that, like, it can't be thought of. When we talk about somebody like a Chris Farley, John Candy, somebody who has been, there are tropes, whether we want to admit it or not. There is the fun, jolly, heavyset guy. There's the fun, jolly, heavyset girl. That is a trope, just like there is the breathtaking leading actress. There are these things that exist in society. They exist in theater. And so when you do not fit that trope anymore, can you still play that part?
Yes.
Fat
doesn't make you funny.
I'm not saying that he can't be funny. I'm saying that the question can be asked.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I know he particularly is very sensitive about it and thinks that it's he had trauma about being heavy and growing up and having people. And so, like, I don't know.
Will it change his humor? How's that? Is that a better way to ask it?
Yeah, I don't think his humor is always based on his weight. I think like Superbad, it was just he was an awkward kid, and I don't know. I just feel like uncomfortable talking about it. But maybe I'm being like too PC, and you guys can all come at me. I totally get it.
We're not gonna come at you.
No, I mean,
I'm
I
just
get
like
it.
more talking about it from like removing the three of us, the five of us out of it. Just like if you watch a movie and there's like the funny sidekick, if they're ripped and smoking hot,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You know, it's just like I don't know why.
It doesn't work.
I don't have a good answer for why that would matter.
Right.
If the same jokes are delivered by a professional actor,
I get it.
like why don't those hit? Why would they not hit as hard?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, but I mean, Kristen Wiig, very attractive, super hilarious.
True.
You know, Kevin Hart is in great shape, good looking guy.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
funny.
not saying that skinny people can't be funny.
No, I'm agreeing with you that there are these things that exist. I don't know if Tommy Boy is the same if Chris Farley has an 8-pack.
Right.
I don't know if that movie still is the same movie.
I agree. Chris Farley like worked with that. I completely agree. That was part of his shtick.
It was
I do.
part of his shtick.
Yeah, I don't know if Jonah Hill's the exact same, and I know he's very. I don't know. I just feel bad. Yeah.
And I mean, Jonah Hill, I think that there's different
He's very sensitive.
different parts of Jonah Hill. I think if you followed his career, it started with Superbad, but then he was like he was great in Wolf of Wall Street.
He's got
great
a lot
in
of good
Moneyball.
movies.
He was in Air, was he not? Was he
Yeah.
in that?
No, I don't think he was in
No,
Air.
I don't think
No,
he was in
no.
Air. But I think he's like respected as he could be the lead in a dramatic movie, and I don't think I'd be
for
like
sure.
like the dude's got chops.
Yeah.
So it's not like people are just like be the funny fat guy. I don't even think that that's how people feel about him. At least if you are a fan of cinema at all, he's had some bangers where he has definitely
Wolf of
made
Wall
that
Street
leap, and it's a
movie.
hard thing to do. The Wolf of Wall Street, he stole the movie.
Yeah.
He stole the movie. So yeah, I don't know. It is a trope, but I think that it is possible to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, Michael Dean, you got a couple unpopular opinions for us?
Yeah, sorry, Tori, if we made you uncomfortable.
Not at all. No, and I
seems
could
like
be
it
seen
changed
as
your mood. I
no.
apologize.
I just feel bad because I know he's particularly sensitive. Whatever, I could talk about it if I want. I get it, but I just feel bad because I don't know. I just feel
No,
bad.
I think we're giving him his props. I'm just saying you look very different.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair to
that's
say.
fair-
For sure.
yeah,
You're in a
like-
visual image
Yeah, I'm not saying like
type of
he's
industry. Totally.
attractive or unattractive. I'm
Yeah.
just like I'm a fan.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
you look different.
Yeah, totally.
Both those things can exist, and I think we're
totally.
both saying that.
Yes, for
Okay,
sure.
so this is related to one of our stories today. The Super Bowl halftime show is out of control and overrated.
It's
I think it's awesome.
out of control. It's
Like everyone pays so much attention, makes such a big deal out of it, but really, is it that big of a deal?
yeah,
Yeah.
because everyone's watching it. Do you know?
It's so fun
how
to bring the room together like
how
that. Everybody's
difficult
watching. Yeah.
it is to get,
the nation,
everyone's
yes.
10-year-olds,
Totally.
90-year-olds,
Totally.
black women, white men.
know.
Everyone is watching this. This is your time.
I agree.
So what do you mean out of control?
I think it's great. I
You know,
love it.
I've been repeatedly underwhelmed.
Sure. Now that's also I can agree with that as well.
Like
but
the build up, it does not have.
No, but sometimes it does, and it's amazing. Sometimes it really does.
What was the last one you liked, Michael Dean?
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot. Come back to me on that.
Okay, what about you, Tori?
Let's see.
There was Rihanna. She was suspended. Remember in
Yes,
Air.
no. Lady Gaga was also. I love Lady Gaga. That was a great one.
There was Prince.
Gaga was fantastic. Michael Jackson had a fantastic one.
Do you remember Michael Jackson's?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That was
It
like in
was
the 80s.
epic.
I know, but I'm just saying
It's
he was
epic.
stood there with his hand up with that glove on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gaga was pretty awesome. I thought she did a really good job. So when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. That's art. That's art.
Yeah, and I don't think. Do you think, as polarized as we all are in our own silos, to the point where a lot of us down in this basement, probably besides, Nick and Jacob, we really didn't even know Bad Bunny's catalog. Do you think that there's one artist that could be put on that like a significant amount of people wouldn't bitch about?
Yeah, I think Dolly Parton is someone that you wouldn't.
Well,
bitch
she
about.
did like the NFC Championship game, or
But
something.
no one's gonna be like, "Oh, Dolly Parton's not great."
I'd
Like,
agree with
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
remember the weekends? That was
That was terrible.
really terrible.
But that
And
was-
he spent $7 million of his own money on
But that was during COVID, and like he didn't. I thought
What was your favorite? Write it in the chat, you guys.
I kind of liked the weekends.
I didn't like the weekends at all.
I kind of liked.
It was bad.
what we
Bobby
saw-
says it was a train wreck.
You know what, Bobby? I just think COVID forced a lot of people to think outside of the box, And when you watch these Super Bowl shows, whether it's Kendrick or whoever,
Kendrick was awesome.
yes, but Kendrick has 40 dancers come out and do this cool movement. What do you do when you're like, we are legally allowed to have 8 people and one of them is the star? It makes you do something a little bit different. So that's all I kind of like when art is kind of forced to work around nature. So
A lot of you are all saying Prince because it started raining during Purple Rain. Are you kidding me?
that was unbelievable.
God is a Prince fan. So yeah.
We all are.
Yeah.
Shout out to Prince. All right, Michael Dean, his
we
one
have-
more.
Okay, I
2
like this one
minutes.
because it's kind of like our other podcast. It relates to that.
You can say the name. It's not my ex-husband.
Friends from work.
We don't talk about Mark.
So, 3:00 Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
That's right,
Friends from work. Be sure to tune in right here on the DTAD.
Yeah, Kendrick was
YouTube.
great. Sorry.
Yeah.
Make sure to interrupt right during
I'm so sorry.
our
I was
plug.
reading. I'm so
It's
sorry.
all good.
I'm so sorry.
Here's the UO number 2. I'm bringing it back from
Thank
last
you.
week.
Thank you.
Extra hardworking employees or coworkers ruin it for everyone just trying to get their work done and go home.
I'd agree with that.
I kind of agree.
I agree with that.
You kind of make us all look bad when we want to get out of there.
Well,
But good for you. Like
No.
you're the teacher's pet. You got the grade, the A. But yeah, you make
But
us
they're
all
raising
look
the standards for everybody, and
bad. It's true.
is that really fair?
right? It's,
Right.
Look, you cannot look, and I know that sounds silly to say that's going to raise the standard. Raise the standard, bro, but raise my pay, because what that how it perfectly correlates to stand up. Sometimes you'll headline a show in your hometown, and a lot of times some comics would be like, and you don't have to give me the hotel. Why you don't do that? Or maybe like I'm going into town, I can stay with a buddy. Even if I have that situation, I still take the hotel because I'm thinking about the comic coming after me. Because the comedy club would be like, oh, well, Michael Dean came and him and Tori didn't need a hotel. That knocked off $700 off of our bottom line that weekend. Why? Maybe nobody needs a hotel. And I've seen that happen. Or they're like, once a couple people are like, after a while, they're like, can you crash with a buddy here in Saskatchewan? So it's like you kind of have to, what one person does affect everybody else. And in a weird way, it's kind of selfish.
I agree. That's a
Yeah.
good way to end this.
That's right. Selfish. All right. And with that said, for Michael Dean, for Tori Shulman, I've been Al Jackson. I almost messed that up. I almost messed up my own last
I like how
name.
I've been. Like, are you going to... Anyways.
Well, both can be true. I have been Al Jackson, and I will continue to be.
Yes, you will.
But yes, thank you for calling out my poor way with words. So, night owls.
Hoot toot.
That's right.